Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining me. Before we begin the recording of this week's blog, I'd like to just take a moment to send our thoughts and prayers to all of the people who have been hurt by the tornadoes that just happened. It's just so devastating. The loss of life and property and just the heartache that they're going through. So let's, all send our thoughts and prayers and try to think of ways that we might be able to assist these people to help them move on from this, as hard as that's going to be. Anyway, okay. So the name of the blog this week is called Entering the Portal Pause. This is a strange title for a blog, you might be thinking. What the heck is a portal pause? Truthfully, I made it up during my morning meditation. The portal pause for me is the gap between our thoughts, as brief as that might be. It can be a moment when one inhalation and exhalation of our breath is complete and before the next one begins. It may be after we complete a task and before we begin another one. It can be just a tiny space in a conversation after someone finishes speaking and before we respond. It can be when we break for lunch on a busy day of mental or physical exertion and mindfully enter our portal pause for a brief moment in order to release any tension so that we can enjoy our downtime. We can enter that sacred space when we get in our car after work, school, or shopping, and before we put the key in the ignition and head on into our day. What do we do in the portal pause? Some of us may consciously do nothing, as we allow our minds to consciously continue chattering about all the things that just happened or all the things that we need to do that are sprawled out in the forefront of our thoughts. In a way, that's kind of like going to a spiritual service and thinking about the party that we're going to go to once it's over. Just being there doesn't guarantee we find perspective, wisdom, or peace, those things that we so desperately need in our lives. We can step through the door and remain right there with our back against it, never fully entering the divinity that exists in its core. The portal pause for me is an opportunity to step into that magical place that connects the physical world and the spiritual one. It is a tiny space in Earth time to acknowledge our immortal and infinite essence and bless it with gratitude for always being there for us, no matter what. A portal pause is not usually a place that we inadvertently step into, though sometimes that occurs in our moments of spontaneous reflection or meditation. It usually takes mindfulness and conscious intention in order to gain entrance to this incredibly extraordinary and transcendent space. Well, isn't that where we go when we meditate? You may be wondering. Bingo. It is indeed. Just a little bit briefer. The portal pause is when we take the time to enter the temple of our soul's light in order to remember and connect with our true selves. That is what we do in meditation as well. It is a sacred sanctuary where, if practiced regularly, we can commune with God, our guides, and the angels on just about anything that we need clarification or understanding about. We can access truth, wisdom, and without discourse or opinion from our spirit team. Why? It is because truth is truth, but more importantly, our team of light will always help to guide us, but never encroach on our free will. We, of course, can share our questions, confusion, our opposing views based on what we have come to believe in the physical world. But what we learn there is truth, and it may take some time to process and integrate. However, one thing is for sure, the portal pause is where we are most authentically the perfect and loving being that we are. We can manifest the beautiful essence that our Mother, Father, God created when we became a living soul, straight from the omnipotent, sublime mind of the Creator of all things. Okay, so now the question is, well, why do we need to go and enter the portal pause all day long if we meditate for 20 to 30 minutes in the morning, for example? We don't need to. It's not a requirement, just as meditation is not a requisite in order to live and breathe. Yet, if we want to live a spiritually directed life, it helps us tremendously. It is a holy moment of time when we can say, just like a quick hello to God and our team of light. It's a blessed instant when we can acknowledge our soul's essence and offer gratitude for always loving and supporting us, no matter how prickly or unholy we may behave at times. It's an opportunity to pray for self-correction and a cleansing of our mind and our thoughts from anything that does not assist us on our soul's journey. The portal pause is where only love exists. There's no judgment, competition, comparison, or hierarchy. There's no need for control over others, and thus no wars or fighting. Most importantly, there is no fear. Why? It is because in the portal pause, we remember that there's nothing to fear. We are safe, protected, immortal, and we are loved. In entering this sacred space throughout our day, even just for a second or two, we are strengthening the connection to our true home and thus the connection to the truth. In this ethereal, non-physical realm, we are enveloped in the peace of our eternal home and the peace of God. So let's try to imagine for a moment what it's like to enter the portal pause. So on our drive for work, for example, we sort of straddle both worlds when we're driving the car, between the physical and spiritual, because we have to navigate the road. But we can shut off the radio, silence our phone, and talk to our guides. I do it out loud, and then we can listen for their guidance, because they will always offer it to us. We can share our worries, our concerns. We can pray for assistance in learning the lessons that may come up for us during our day. We can thank them for their love and their faith in us, and we can ask them just to guide us through our lives. We can practice noticing every now and then about our breath. When one breath ends and the next says yet to begin, and just again, say a quick hello to our soul in a precious moment of simple acknowledgement. When a coworker or a boss is having a difficult day and everyone is feeling on edge, we can take a breath, and we can enter the portal pause and ask for the gift of compassion and the ability to resist the temptation to fall victim to the ego, who is always primed for judgment and condemnation. The door to the portal pause is always open, and we can go there whenever we want or need to for our own peace of mind and in order to live a spiritually directed life. There's a whole toolbox filled with miracles in there. We always have access to them in order to untangle our misperceptions, initiate our self-corrections, bring forth our divine self, and find our holy way through this sometimes arduous and confusing world. We can even decorate our portal paws with candles and twinkling lights if we wish. We can visualize our portal paws as a quiet place by a meandering stream or a field of wildflowers. Or we can simply envision a still, silent, and love-filled void and just simply allow our experiences to unfold, whatever they may be. It doesn't matter, as long as we take the time to go there as often as we can, and then watch as the miracles occur in our lives each and every day. So thanks again for sharing this time. I imagine that I still keep thinking about what happened with those terrible tornadoes, and imagine what it must be like for all of those people who are in the middle of this awful pain, anguish, loss. How hard it must be for them to be able to find that place, because the peace that they're feeling in their physical lives right now is so overwhelming. So what we can do for these people, among other things, we can actually physically help, send money or things, personal belongings, food. We can do what we can for them. But what we can do, because we are all connected to each other, because we are one, and we're not going through the tough times that they're in right now, we can enter the portal paws ourselves and take a moment to try to connect to all of the people, even though we don't know them. Just connect with the light that connects all of us, and just send through that matrix of light to those people that are suffering, sending them our love, our prayers, our support, our encouragement, anything that we want to say through the light, and it will reach them in some way. It kind of, we feel at times like this that we're so helpless, to make things better. But we do have power in that space to be able to reach people. You just have to believe. So maybe we can do that. Just take a moment today and go to that temple and, just send it out. The love, the compassion, just prayers. And then try to find other ways to help too. Okay, so I hope everybody has a great day. We're heading into the home stretch for the holiday season, or Christmas season anyway. So I hope everybody is taking some time to relax amidst all the chaos, and I hope everyone has a beautiful day filled with light and love and joy and fun. Namaste.